be wondering, what is this beautiful yellow-haired cartoon doing here? How many of you guys remember him? Can I get a shake of hands, please? Amazing, quite a lot. So, for those of you who don't know him, he is Bob the Builder. Bob the Builder is a very passionate civil engineer who finds joy in building and construction. Bob the Builder thrives on cement and concrete. Bob the Builder loves consulting researchers to design his buildings. So Bob and I haven't been in touch for like 15 years now, and we recently met here in New Zealand. So we caught up on our lives. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to share my research on decoding ground-shaking predictions through a few interactions Bob and I had. So it looks like these days, Bob is a big shot designer in Wellington, a city highly vulnerable to earthquakes. So Bob's job is to construct houses in many different terrains of Wellington. Importantly, Bob is the main designer of the Beehive building of Wellington, which is yet to be constructed. So Bob one day anxiously approached me and said, I just don't know how much impact the earthquakes would have on my structure. Can you help me? So I comforted Bob and said, my research literally ends when your work begins. So the key thing which you need, Bob, is to understand what are the characteristics of this danger. That includes how strong shaking could you expect, how long shaking could you expect, and how fast the waves would travel back and forth. All these characteristics you can get in one thing, which we earthquake engineers call a seismograph. Now Bob is like, oh, can you give it to me? Is it easy to get for future earthquakes? So I told Bob, my job as an earthquake engineer is to understand the physics of earthquake waves as they travel from the origin all the way to your buildings. So I have to understand the physics of these and capture it in my models. So that means, for example, if this Wellington fault would rupture, explode below the Earth's surface, the earthquake waves would travel in all directions, interact with different materials, keep changing its nature, and then change again significantly as they pass through these layers. So I have to construct this in three basic ingredients: source, path, and site. Bob stopped me there. He's like, I need it right now. Can you give it? I told Bob, I'm doing PhD in this. You need to give me time to validate my computational models against historical earthquakes. Bob is impatient. He just left. I can't really blame him. He's a practical builder after all. So in his super fast computing world, cartoon world, with his amazing design skills, he constructed the Beehive building while I'm still doing my PhD. So one day, an earthquake rocked Wellington, and Bob's Beehive building was severely damaged. Look at Bob, all angry and frustrated. So he was frustrated at the engineers who gave him inaccurate predictions of ground shaking. He approached me again, knowing that I do research in this area, asked me, can you explain me more? So I told Bob, look, whatever earthquake happened in Wellington looks something like this in reality. Now, I will use my basic ingredients and come to my model. Now, the most important step, that is, I need to understand how does it behave with other earthquakes. So, basically, we don't need to match the blue and the black wiggle for wiggle, but we have to have comparable characteristics. This is captured here. Remember the characteristics we discussed earlier? And for example, for Beehive's building, look at this difference. And this difference is huge, right? So we have to reduce the difference. So this difference could happen only due to three things: source, path, and site. Again, our basic ingredient. We break this into those three ingredients, do our analysis, see what went wrong, recompute our model, redo the validation, and the process repeats itself. And that is the good news, guys. Science advances on uncertainty, and these advancements happen through power of iterations. So, that is what my picture of PhD looks like. I aim to minimize the difference by minimizing each of the ingredients. Now, it can happen due to I need to understand what physical phenomena were overlooked in each of this, how it could advance my models. So, Bob is very hopeful about my PhD. He always mentions that the product of your PhD could help in significantly making earthquake-resilient structures for New Zealand. So far, what I know is that certain places or terrains in Wellington aren't giving really good predictions because the physical effects of those terrains are not included in my computational models. So even at this stage, we don't know when and where the next earthquake could happen, we are hopefully getting closer and closer to. Whenever it happens, we would know how much would the ground shake during that earthquake. Thank you so much for your time and attention.